Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this Abbott and Preach vid. It's titled Erika Kirk Hate is Manufactured. Okay, this is regarding Druski's skit. Of course, I already saw it. It was viral. Saw it while I was traveling in Africa. But yeah, they're going to talk more about it, it looks like, and see, I guess, what people are saying and the pushback, etc. So let's just hop into it.
Druski released a sketch and it got a lot of...
I have an allergic reaction if you're wondering why am I wearing glasses indoors on a video. That is why. My left eye is very, very swollen.
People upset.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
Yeah, she does.
the USA hit the tower.
It broke my heart. That is the...
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God.
He looks so
And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children.
We are.
But when I say
Oh, she be doing that?
we are all his children.
We are.
Oh, she weird as hell. Why she be making her eyes like that? Okay, yeah, this is creepy.
But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
His hands are very dainty.
Holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pot cup. Yes, everything organic.
3, 2, roll your cup.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men
White.
in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs.
I had a good laugh the first time I watched this. For some of y'all did too. Some of y'all felt like, oh, that was on it. Some of those are direct quotes. These are things that Erika herself has said. A lot of it was replicating her interviews and the way she's answered questions. So to be clear, is this dude mocking Erika Kirk without saying her name? Absolutely. But he's doing a bigger social commentary as well on conservative women in North America. Go ahead.
That's exactly what he's been doing. And that's why it's so accurate. He's not even inventing stuff. Like, the parody is already there. He brings it
The jokes
to life.
write themselves.
It's quote that have been said, that's been documented. And also, shout out to the makeup artist. On every skit that he has, that was scary. That was a scary one. He doesn't flame just one. He's not just directed to one side. He's flaming everything. You know what thing that most comedians are claiming they're doing, but they're not really doing? That's what he's doing. Yeah, nobody's safe, and I appreciate that. I like the nobody's safe thing and actually doing it.
And I think there's an irony because the sketch itself highlighted how conservatives and religious right women in political spaces really focus on aesthetic, really focus on showmanship and flashiness and bouginess, missing all the points about Christianity, about Jesus' image and how he carried himself and his ethos, misses all the points about conservatism and why it even is relevant. The idea of conserving traditionalism, minimalists, or the idea of just being grounded, right, in tradition. But everything about this was like WWE when it came to Erika Kirk and a lot of these conservative ladies. Even when she holds the Bible, Erika Kirk, as she looks at the camera, she goes, I feel terrible for the children. And I know in the Bible that Jesus would have loved everything I'm saying too. And that's why I support bombing those kids in Iran. It just, none of it is congruent. It's all surface level. And ironically, a lot of the criticisms levied towards Druski I just stopped at Whiteface. That's it. No one talked about the fact that conservatism is...
That's not a thing, though, okay? There is history behind blackface. That's a thing. So trying to be like, well, this is a whiteface, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. And you sound very unintelligent when you try to compare the two and act like they're the same when they're not. And go Google blackface and look up the history behind it, and then try to Google whiteface and see and compare. That's all you have to do. That's your homework if you're confused. Instead of being in the comments looking dumb, go educate yourself first and then come back to have a conversation. Because I see people being like, well, this is the same, and this is whiteface, and this is just as wrong. And you're just as stupid. Go research.
Politicians, especially on these leagues on the right, there is no conservative aspect to it. One of the most jarring things that I wanted to talk about for a long time is how I see a lot of these politicians who are like conservative women and they have so much plastic surgery. Is that not fucking weird to you at all?
We call it Mar-a-Lago face.
Like how are the liberal women in politics seemingly
that's
at all?
what Jigsaw used to look like. And so interesting. She's much tanner. Oh my gosh, she busted. Yeah, y'all look a mess.
We call it Mar-a-Lago face.
Like how are the liberal women in politics seemingly less plastic surgery than the conservative women? And they have the whole concept of Mar-a-Lago face, but it's just like, is there not an incongruence with this idea of holding to these traditions? And then seeing these people become so synthetic, nose jobs, lip filler.
And I mean, because in terms of this as well, but also as far as the messaging. But this is no different than like the red pill shit. Like, people don't practice what they preach at all.
Botox, jaw implants, everything. And it's not even to shame plastic surgery. I just think it's interesting that there's an incongruence between this conservatism ideal and the way they portray themselves. And I think this sketch highlighted that. To me, it's so ironic too, because there's this thing about like trans women, accept your gender, accept your biological sex, we were born this way, whatever it is. But then like all these women change their face so fucking much to look like Hollywood versions of liberal women. Like they look like they're 2 steps away from starting the OnlyFans with how much they change about their face. What of Jesus do you see in all this vanity? What if Christianity is Christian about this shit right here? I don't know. I don't even mind that somebody who calls himself Christian is vain or whatever, but just stop using the veneer of Christianity to move your vehicle every day. They use it so often for their political messaging, and I'm like, bitch, you should at least make an effort. Can't say Jesus' name every day while you wearing the fanciest brand names and doing all this pyrotechnics around a funeral and all that. It's like, just stop.
That's vanity.
It is. All right, so Tim Pool reacted to it, and I say reacted to it, which is kind of generous, but he has a video called He Mocked Her.
This viral video from Druski, making fun of Erika Kirk, and a lot of people like it. A lot of people are pissed off, but let me just start by playing the video.
Look at the guy second from the top, okay?
All right, that is the
Blah, blah, blah. This is hard to watch. It's so boring.
So they spend this whole time kind of like getting mad about it, but you can see like they don't even want to play it. But you can see that they're actually enjoying it.
Sometimes when you don't know people are watching, you was looking like, no, that's bullshit.
So they didn't even play the whole sketch itself, but let's keep going.
4.6 million views, 31,000 retweets.
Was that more views than fucking TPUSA's alternative to the Super Bowl?
How dare you? I just want to say that we are dealing with what I would describe as mass formation psychosis. I recommend any one of you go into Threads and just look at content related to Erika Kirk. I wouldn't be surprised if she were to walk out on the street, somebody would just beat her to death.
What?
The amount of psychosis on Threads and coming from the left, and largely just women,
These are people who are chronically online and need to go outside and experience life. Because I promise you, nobody really cares about that white woman that much. She step outside, nobody really cares.
Freaked me out. And then I start scrolling through these posts, and it's women being like, as veiled of threats that could be, and I'm like, this is just all over Threads.
They're pretending like the Erika Kirk weirdness that everyone feels, from conservative to liberals to everyone across the political spectrum. He's pretending like it's a psychosis.
I don't know, man. I remember the Obama days when Obama days was good.
No. Do you remember that these fucking people lost their minds because Obama wore a tan suit?
Yes.
Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
They lost their mind because it said it wasn't presidential and he should lose the office because he wore a tan suit.
Yes.
This bitch had pyrotechnics at a memorial, turning it into a New York WWE style event where there's some fucking, what's that niggas that do light feet?
Okay, go. I thought
I don't even know a liberal who would do that kind of memorial.
100%.
Stop it.
100%.
Okay, it's not psychosis. People see her behavior and it's fucking bizarre. Pretending like everyone's being indoctrinated. No, you're the indoctrinated one. I thought you were the one who was constantly advocating for the right and for the conservatives and what they want to do. Pretend like this bitch is not weird for how she's running shit, how giddy she is about merch sales, how she's running around doing this fucking tent where you can take the picture where Charlie Kirk was assassinated. It's weird.
Actually, liberals are sometimes more conservative than
Apparently.
themselves.
And the more you don't admit it, the more I think something weird is happening.
Conservative would be everybody dressed in black. We mourning, bobble, we go back home, or we gather to eat some sandwiches without the crust. That's conservative. The flashes?
I'm not even using it as a gotcha. My parents are very conservative. They're conservative in their social values, they're conservative in their economic values. Like, me and my parents don't see. But I do respect and I do agree with them when it comes to things in relation to the dead.
And
There's a lot of conservative value.
I know they're in Canada, but that don't mean shit. Okay, so strange. It'd be Trump supporters in like fucking Finland and just random places, and it's like, what the fuck? You don't even go here, you know? So
is that I do adopt, okay? And so that's my idea. That's what I understood. That's what's always been normal to me. Whatever y'all got going on right now with these conservative women is a freak show. It looks crazy. And if I would have introduced a person like that to my mom, I'm better off getting a blue-haired feminist. The sacrilege, or maybe that's not even the right word that I'm looking for. What is it when you defy something that should be sacred? I'm not talking about blasphemy. That's desecration. Desecration. Appreciate you, Mike.
If you can't see the positive side to the other side that's wrong, I think you're brainwashed. If you don't see, like, you're conservative and you don't see how crazy that is and that looks, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it's like, of course you can't stand on anything because these guys spent their whole time defending comedy against cancel culture and all this other stuff, and now they all want to pearl clutch over very valid and funny-ass criticism. But I also want to, platform some of the criticisms because a lot of people have been having some issues calling it whiteface and how unacceptable it is. We have some different social media personas that are relatively popular, like everybody remembers Joey Salads. If you don't, consider yourself lucky. YouTube prankster for a long time, turned social commentary person. But he says, imagine if a prominent black leader was assassinated and a white comedian put on blackface to mock his widow. There's a girl here who goes, when that EBT hit, and Joey says, blackface is so back. Wow. There's another person here who goes, blacks use the Bible as a prop for comedy skits now. I guess it makes sense for something who's kind of doomed to hell. And there's been a lot of commentary from people being like, it's a double standard. Here it is, a person doing whiteface. And it's unacceptable.
It is a double standard because it's not the same thing. Double standard exists because it doesn't have the same meaning, the blackface and the whiteface. It hasn't been used in the same way. It's not as charged. It's not as heavy. The whiteface is not as heavy as the blackface. You're saying, well,
it's not heavy at all because it's not a fucking thing. No one has used whiteface to mock white people and to demean them and make it seem like they're less than. That has never been a thing historically. So that's why you can't compare the two. It's not a thing. That's why. The hell?
I can't paint my face black if I'm white. If you paint your face white, no, it's not the same thing. It's not because you flip it around that it's actually the same thing. You do the opposite. Because we're used to that. The opposite of black is white. But in reality, no, it's not. Depending on the context, it's not. When you have a different, you bring the context into what you're talking about and you're doing the opposite thing, it changes actually everything that you're talking about. So if you do blackface, if you put a black person in a white paint, it doesn't have the same meaning. It doesn't have the same history. It doesn't have the same background. You guys are making intellectual shortcuts sometimes. And I don't know if it's because you're lazy or stupid.
I think it's because they think we're stupid. So they want to falsely, compare two things. I think that's what it is. I want to say it's that, or it could be that people are just that stupid. I am trying to give people the benefit of the doubt as of late because I always dismiss people and say, oh, you're just stupid. This is so dumb, But it's like I'm trying to, because there can't be that many stupid people in the world, can they? Can there be? Maybe.
I think people just say double standards, but I think what Preach touched on is pretty accurate. I think different cultural contexts can make people have different sensibilities to specific phenomena, right? So if I go to some parts of Europe...
No, I think they're plain stupid. I don't think.
Person gypsy, they're going to have a huge problem with it, especially in Romania. I met some people, they'll lose your fucking minds if you call them a gypsy. Call a black person a gypsy, they'd be like, I like necklaces too, nigga. What do you want me to say? No, because I've been to Romania. I didn't know it was a big thing. I'll say all this. If y'all go to Europe, you'll see they throw around the gypsy word a lot. I mean, if you look even slightly homeless and you're white, they're calling you a gypsy real fast out there. But now I went to Romania, and when I said that word once, and somebody they was on beef, actually treating me. I had to learn that for them it was a different thing. Now, if she would in turn call me a gypsy, what would I have done? Now, is that a double standard that you call a black person, but I can't go to Romania? Sure, I guess, but it's normal to have a different history with that word, right? It's North America specifically. It was because of the erasure of black folks from a media standpoint, how it was used to mock them and turn into minstrel shows. So it's a different historical context. So trying to equate the two is pointless. And I'll also say, I like Tropic Thunder. Robert Downey Jr. did blackface.
Tropic Thunder is the best movie.
And there's a reason why it got widely accepted, because the point of it wasn't to do some giant...
And it wasn't to mock black people. Okay, I think he did a great job. Okay, even down to his voice. All right, I didn't mind that. See, black people were not offended by that, but it's because, blackface has been done in very disrespectful forms, and it has been used to mock black people, and that just wasn't the case there, And with Druski, he's not mocking white people. He's talking about conservative women, and I mean, most of them are white, okay? So, Of course he's going to paint himself white, like he did with a couple of his other skits, and especially when he's mocking a white woman in particular. It's not, oh, I'm mocking her because she's white. I'm mocking her because of her ridiculous behavior and how she acts. But she is white, so let me paint myself white. there's a difference, all right. And in that movie, it wasn't, oh, I'm mocking, the way black people talk and act. Like, it felt like he was like, oh, okay, this could be like a black dude from the 70s or whatever era, So yeah, there's a difference.
Mockery of black folks.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure some people were outraged by that though. Some people probably were offended and saying, oh, this is blackface, this is wrong. But I feel like overall he didn't get as much backlash.
Right? He was actually making fun of white people making fun or being insensitive to the blackface, to what's going on. That's what I'm saying, is you guys are sometimes, not you guys watching, but the people making the commentary are sometimes lazy. Blackface no good.
And yeah, that was comedy also, so that was...
They don't think about the whole concept of what happened in that movie. He was playing a guy. He was not even laughing at black people, which is inherently what blackface was, what a minstrel show was. The whole black people with sleeping and being lazy and the watermelon and the fried chicken, all that. You said that like what watermelon?
Watermelon. You said that. I didn't say it.
No, but you went like this. You had a little shimmy. You had a little
watermelon.
Watermelon there.
You were thinking back in your head, watermelon. Anyway, and Courtney, if you know, you know. But
people, even black folks that I know very, very well, love that movie. Okay? And I think we can understand the intentions of the people behind it and what they're trying to do. And Druski was not making some skit where he's like trying to mock all white people. That's not what he was doing. He was clearly emulating Erika Kirk. And I think his criticisms of her through that sketch are perfectly valid. Here's Charlie Kirk on blackface.
I would just go to the point of saying, like, a thing that I don't think people can explain is it's truly, like, this blackface thing, it's a taboo, because rationally think about it. What is the harm from this?
Well, the harm of wearing blackface?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there really is not a victim except being somewhat maybe insensitive.
So when he says there's not really a victim other than being insensitive, right?
That's the whole point. So if you agree,
I agree with Charlie.
If you remove the whole point, yeah, there's no harm. But the whole problem is being insensitive. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, and also it's important to guys remember, like, we say black people, but this is like a very uniquely either colonial or like Western thing. If you go to a lot of parts of Africa and you do blackface, a lot of people not gonna care because they don't have a history with it. Everything is culturally contextual. That's the truth. I'm telling you right now, like, blackface is not really a thing that we have to stress about in Ethiopia. I'm not saying if you went there, everyone's be like, oh, that's amazing, but they're just not gonna feel no type of way.
They're gonna look at you like a weirdo.
That's it. They'd be like, why does that guy walk around with like,
you're weird.
Weird looking makeup. That's all they're gonna think. Let's go to Officer Tatum because he had a take, and I actually was relatively surprised. Let's take a look.
Now, I'm going to say something that some people are not going to like, and some of y'all are going to respect the fact that...
Yeah, 50% dislike ratio on this video, so he definitely didn't like it. His audience was not rocking with it, but let's see what he had to say.
Who's his audience? I keep it real all the time. I think Druski is an incredible comedian. I think he's hilarious. I think he has a great talent. Druski makes fun of everybody. Nobody's off limits. He makes fun of people, and I laugh at every time he makes fun of people because it's funny, it's comedy. I think objectively, what he did in this skit is funny. It just simply is. He made fun of it or whatever it can be. But the difference is that when you sit back and you look at who he made fun of and the circumstances surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination, it makes it disgusting. Now, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I was close to Charlie and close to Erika, and I care about this topic. For me to go, oh, now all of a sudden I want Druski to be canceled. Because I didn't mind laughing at when he made fun of the pastors. I didn't mind laughing when he made fun of white hillbillies at Talladega. I didn't mind when it wasn't close to me. So I also can't think he should be canceled because it's somebody I know. But I will say the reason that I will not post this, I will not support this Druski content is because I think it's incredibly insensitive.
Because you know them.
Yeah. Comedy is exactly like a drunk uncle at Christmas. It's fun until he touches you.
That's it.
Oh Jesus. You don't think she's being insensitive though with how she's handling her husband's death?
That's really what it comes down to. And at least he was self-aware enough to say, I laughed at all these other instances. I'm not going to pearl clutch here just because I like the guy that you. Which is fair.
I think that's a part of the joke is that she's not being insensitive. How she can, be like, oh yeah, let's support, the whites and whatever the fuck she'd be saying, and then going in her car and singing and let me order my macchiato or whatever the fuck. Like, I think that's a part of the joke.
The most fair out of all the conservatives, I wanted to give him his flowers. At least it was fair. At the end of the day, you can say many things about Druski, but you can't call him a liar on this sketch. I don't give a fuck about none of this whiteface, all this stuff. Talk about the shit that matters.
Hello.
Why conservatism doesn't look conservative. Talk to me about that. And after that discussion, you want to talk about the rest, I'm more than happy to. But the fact that people are dodging that point to talk about whatever they think makes them look like the best victim, I think is kind of lame. But that's what I want to say. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we covered it.
Yes, I'll slap a pussy nigga if he act up. Listen, the skit was funny. It is what it is. I think people are just being, very sensitive because it is hitting close to home, like they said, because otherwise it's like it wasn't like he really went in on her or like, hit below the belt. None of that occurred. It's not like he showed images of Charlie Kirk and like being dead. So I think that would have probably been below the belt or crossing the line and be like, okay, that can be a bit insensitive. Or if he showed like, her over the casket or something, it'd be like, all right. But he didn't do any of that. I think he did keep it pretty respectful considering, the situation, because that's what always been, my criticism is just like, the way she acting after he died is a bit weird, And he didn't tap into that or explore that further, and he could have definitely made some jokes about it. So yeah, I think people are just being snowflakes. This goes back to the video I reacted to not long ago about how people who used to call other races snowflakes and say, oh, y'all are too woke and y'all are too sensitive, they have now become those same people that they criticize, because it's like, y'all not over this, like it wasn't even that serious, like learn to take a joke. Like, he's not making fun of her because she's white, so y'all even trying to make yourselves victims and reach to that degree is a lot as well. But anyway, they can stay mad. It is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.